What? Oh, hold on. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Darius. What we're about to do? We're about to watch this video. Every major difference between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant by Johnny Arnett. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, two of my all-time favorite players of all time. I was discussing this with my buddy Sam. Shout out to you, Sam. But we I feel like there are some difference between Michael Jordan and Kobe. I think Michael Jordan, like, if you guys know your MBTI, that's that 60 personality where we all like some sort of four letters. Michael Jordan is an ISTP, and I always say Kobe is an INTJ. Like, if you read both of them, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. But we're gonna watch every major difference between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Look at Curry, man. Look at Jordan. Boom.
Want to get an advantage over
All right,
the
we're gonna skip some of these
during the NBA and NHL playoffs? How about an insight? Don't miss out on your chance.
We're gonna skip the ads and everything.
They're the two greatest shooting guards of basketball history.
They are.
Sometimes appeared as mirror images of one another in terms of style, mentality, and personality, both individuals were actually much more different than the fans typically recognize. I've witnessed countless hours of both of these legends playing the game of basketball, and today, I'm breaking down every major difference that I could recognize in how the two approached and played the game. Obviously, this is just my own limited perspective, so let me know in the comments what are some differences that you've noticed. Number 1. Michael Jordan had much bigger hands.
That's true.
People who don't know basketball on a team,
it's not only much bigger, but I think it's much rougher. It's much rougher. Like I know Michael Jordan, when he was growing up, he had to like work with tools and everything. While Kobe, he had to tour in like Italy and everything, and like that. And that's when Kobe like learned more of his sports and things.
Don't know basketball on a deep level, this might initially seem like an insignificant detail, but it's actually quite the opposite.
It is.
Phil Jackson has spoken in depth about the advantages Jordan had due to his monstrous hands, and even Jordan himself has elaborated on the edge it gave over the competition.
Like how big
Jordan's
his
hands weren't just large for his stature, but he actually had some of the largest hands of any player of NBA history. With Jordan's massive mitts,
wait, is Quiet on there?
Hands of
Jack, Giannis, Gregory Smith, Connie Hawkins. Oh, Quiet is right below.
Of NBA history.
So Quiet has a big ass hand.
With massive mitts, he could easily palm and control the basketball, and he could use greater pump fakes and misdirect players more easily. It also allowed him to effortlessly alter and change his shot in midair, which would certainly be more difficult for players who had less control of the basketball due to their smaller hands. And obviously, in an era of hand checking, it made Jordan even more difficult defensively. In an interview in 2013, Kobe spoke about the difficulties of developing his game without that inherent advantage, saying, "Michael was blessed with massive hands, and Dr. J as well. I wasn't. I have big hands, but Jordan and Irving can literally pick up the ball like an orange. So I've had to do things to strengthen my hands, strengthen my forearms, to make sure that I have the grip to be able to do it. They obviously had the natural capabilities to do it. I had to work to get the strength to be able to do it."
Wow.
Number 2. Kobe was...
see that's with Kobe, like, and I think about to mention that too. I think that's why that was set Kobe apart from everyone else, including LeBron. It's that he was willing to work for it. He was willing to work so hard, to get to that level. Like, whatever disadvantage he had, like he always able to overcome it. But I'm pretty sure Johnny about to speak on that right now.
Worker. This is certainly a bold claim, and isn't meant as a slight to MJ, he's certainly one of the hardest working basketball players that the game has ever seen. But on the other hand, Kobe has an argument for being the hardest working athlete of all time. As I mentioned in a previous video, the great Phil Jackson made this bold claim himself, which is quite stunning since he spent all of his coaching career with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Feel free to pause the video for more time to read.
Okay, when asked if Carmelo modeled his training after Kobe, Jackson said, no one can approach that. I don't expect anyone to model their behavior after that. Although Kobe modeled his behavior a lot about Michael Jordan, but he went beyond Michael in his attitude towards training. And I know Michael will probably question me for saying that, but he did. I think so. I think Kobe, like I said before, Kobe was just willing to work harder than ever just to be great. Like, like he didn't have the finish of what Michael had or LeBron had, but he was able to overcome everything just to become like one of the great basketball player.
Jackson's full quote. As legendary as Kobe's drive was, I could even argue that it was sometimes a negative for Kobe, as he pushed himself so hard that it sometimes had lingering effects on his body.
That's
The
true.
Mamba was known to play through injury, play heavy minutes, put an insane amount of time into
That's
the
true.
gym, and apparently lived most of his basketball life on only 4 hours of sleep each night. With an
Damn.
insane work ethic like that, it's no wonder why he's one of the greatest players of all time.
That's
But then
true.
again, it also makes sense why he dealt with so many injuries throughout his career, considering the fact that he willingly put so much strain on his body.
That's true.
Number 3. Kobe was a better perimeter shooter. Numerous people have made the same
That's
conclusion,
actually
including
true.
Michael Jordan.
That's actually true because Michael Jordan, he wasn't known too much for shooting three, while Kobe was. Michael Jordan were known more for shooting mid range, while Kobe was more of an outside guy. They're not saying Michael Jordan wasn't great at 3-point shooting, and Kobe wasn't great at mid range. They both were exceptional. I'm just saying Michael was more of mid range and Kobe was more of an outside shooter.
Longtime teammate Scottie Pippen. When you look at their 3-point percentage next to one another, Kobe has a very slight advantage, and it's so close that you could basically call it a tie. But one of the key differences was the fact that Kobe had a much higher tendency of shooting 3-pointers, as he shot more than 3 times as many as Jordan did over the course of his career. Some of that has to do with the surge in 3-point attempts as the game has evolved. But even if you adjust for inflation, Kobe still had a higher tendency of 3-point attempts. Analytics have proven that as you take more shots, percentages generally decrease, because you can be less selective with your opportunities, and yet despite that, the Mamba maintains his edge. The perimeter shot advantage isn't just about 3-pointers though. Kobe loved to take shots in rhythm just a step or two inside of the 3-point line. The Mamba was excellent at these shots, whether he was open or contested. With that being said, analytics show that generally these are the most inefficient shots on the court, mostly because of their distance and lower conversion rate, while still being worth only 2 points. Which brings us to the next difference. Number 4. Michael Jordan had better shot selection. It's no secret that Michael was a more efficient scorer than Kobe Bryant, averaging 30 points per game over the course of his career on nearly 50% shooting. A big reason for Jordan's significant edge over Kobe in field goal efficiency was because of MJ's sound decision making. Although Michael is famous for making some difficult shots, he certainly wasn't seeking them out. In his younger years, Jordan scored a large portion of his points in the paint and from the free throw line. As he aged, his game became more about the mid-range, and he rarely settled for more difficult opportunities, as he used his high basketball IQ to put himself in good positions to score. Although Kobe had many of these same skills as Jordan, the Mamba's supreme confidence led him to take a tremendous amount of difficult shots that most players wouldn't attempt.
Yeah, that's true.
During his prime, it was common on a nightly basis.
That's why there was a famous joke. Kobe doesn't pass the ball, which he never did.
Shots from the perimeter, and he took a ton of what us hoopers would call heat check shots. Once again, Phil Jackson gave his own perspective on this topic, and said that Jordan always played within the flow of the team's offense and rarely tried to force anything. While Kobe may have been the more explosive player, but he also had a strong tendency of trying to force the situation and take over games offensively. Number 5. Jordan was the more durable athlete. I somewhat alluded to this earlier, but Kobe was dealing with injuries throughout the majority of his career and caused him to miss well over 100 games. Even in the games where he played, he was often dealing with nagging pain in his hands, wrists, shoulders, knees, and ankles. On the other hand, other than Jordan's second season,
Kobe wife Vanessa even said, like why not just take a break? But Kobe, he wanted to play for the fans because his idea was where that fan came one night and they didn't see him play. It's like, like he was doing it for the fans. And I can respect that.
But he rarely missed any games due to an injury, and was often performing at full strength. In fact, excluding his second season, Jordan missed only 7 out of a possible 919 games with the Bulls. This was a testament to his stellar conditioning and his God-given athleticism. Number 6. Kobe was better with his left hand. It's not like there's any fancy left-handed specific stats that I can share with you guys, but you'll just have to take my word for it on this one.
No, I believe
Jordan has possibly the greatest layup package in NBA history,
Ooh.
and a major aspect of that was his incredible ability to finish the play with his left hand. If that was the only aspect we were looking at, then this advantage would go to Jordan. But I'm pretty sure that Kobe still could have been a legit star even if he had to use his left hand as his dominant hand. The Mamba was working on his left-handed game from an extremely early age. When he broke his right hand, he showed up to Lakers practice and shot entirely with his left hand. And when he injured his right shoulder, he played a significant amount of a regular season game with only his left hand. And of course, many of us remember the ridiculous turnaround left-handed three against the Dallas Mavericks. If Kobe had to play a mid-range game as a left-handed shooter, he's one of the few stars who I believe could still be a successful scorer. Number 7. Michael Jordan had a greater vertical leap.
That's without question.
Comparisons are usually a sure way to get comment sections in heated debates, because it's hard to get credible and precise estimations of each player's leap. With that being said, most listings have Jordan's leap between 46 and 48 inches, while Kobe's is listed around only 38 inches.
Really?
Even by just the eye test, it's not hard to see how Jordan could have such a tremendous vertical, considering his iconic and comfortably stylish free throw line dunks, and also how Jordan made his hang time famous by appearing to simply wait in the air for his defender to make his descent. Number 8. Michael Jordan is a more competitive person. Whether this is an advantage for MJ or a problem for MJ,
he took it personally. He took it.
When it comes to their
he took I think that's the thing. Michael Jordan always take team personally, even when he didn't have to. It's like oh my God, I love that meme so much. I took things personally.
Both players were about as competitive, driven, and intense as a player could possibly be. But off the court is another story. In Kobe Bryant's own words, Michael Jordan was a more competitive person, from the standpoint that Jordan was competitive about more things. I don't think Kobe would have ever conceded that anyone cared more about the outcome of a basketball game than he did. But in an interview, Kobe explained that he's only extremely competitive about the things he cares about, while Jordan is competitive in absolutely everything.
That's
Kobe
also
gave a
true.
Funny example of a time the two athletes were out to dinner together and how Jordan would eat the food quickly just to finish his meal before Kobe did. There's many more differences between these two great basketball legends,
I believe.
but these were the biggest ones in my opinion. Let me know in the comment section what you think were the biggest differences between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Alright, that was great. That was a great video right there. I think the biggest difference between Kobe and Michael Jordan, in my opinion, was that Kobe was more versatile. Like, I think one thing he didn't mention was that Kobe footwork more like a soccer player than he was like a basketball player. But then again, Kobe was like, Kobe was like, he went to a different country. He went to Italy when he was younger and everything. So he was able to learn more about other athletes from other sports than Michael was. Michael just Michael, he cared about basketball, but it's like, I know he also liked baseball as well, but it's like, Michael, he just wasn't that versatile like that. Don't kill me, people. Don't kill me. I'm just stating my opinion. But both are tremendous athletes. Both are they're always gonna be in my top 5 for sure. I got Michael at number 1. I got Kobe at number 4. Number 2. We're gonna find out who is also in my top 5 list. Like when I make a list on my opinion channel. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to your boy. Leave a like and leave a comment. Also subscribe to Johnny Arnett and everything. You may need to if you guys like my video and guys want to check out my another basketball video where I also reacted to another Johnny Arnett video. Thank you guys for watching. Peace, love, and rock and roll.